Hey, 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 and welcome to Mind Power Meets Mystic. You're here with me, Cinthia Varkevisser, Mystic, and Mind Power, my pal, Michelle Walters, is off for today. So just between you and me, we're going to talk about bum, 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 bum. Should I stay or should I go? Bum, 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 bum. If you don't know that song, mad apologies to you, but it's a great song. And this is a theme that comes up many times during my coaching sessions, which is, Cinthia, should I go for this other job? Should I leave this relationship? Is it time for me to move? And a lot of explanation goes around these questions about whether or not this should be happening. And my response always ends up being the same. So let me help you out, and maybe you can have a quick chat with yourself and save yourself a coaching with me. So here's number one. I want you to remember you're 100% of you, who you are 100% of the time, no matter where you go, which means if you take a look back and you see repetition, and the repetition doesn't have to be just in your work or in your home, not just one area of your life, but in multiple areas of your life, usually the answer is you have a choice. You can stick with it here, learn your lesson now, or you can go to your next place or relationship or whatever, and you're going to run into the same thing. It may be packaged slightly differently, but you're going to find out that it's going to be the same. It's similar to having cooked a really quick lunch because you're on the go, your kitchen's a little bit messy, and then it's time to cook dinner. And you'll see that you can't cook a really good meal because you have your stuff left over. It's really good to start with a clean kitchen. So same here. Take a look. If you want to leave your job, is it because of someone that's bothering you? I had a couple of clients, believe it or not, both had to do with being in an HOA. And the HOA board member was causing them a lot of uncomfortable feelings and situations. And so they felt like it was time to leave. I find that really interesting that one person can cause someone to make a six-figure decision. So really, it's a lot of decisions that lead up to that one person or one decision. So suss it out, untangle it a little bit. Is it that one person that's making you to move, making you want to move? Is it one person that makes you want to leave your job? Is it your friend or partner that's doing this one thing? You'll find that there are echoes in every part of your life. The universe doesn't just give you a onesie at a timesy thing. Well, it is a onesie at a timesy, but not just in one part of your life. You'll find that there's an irritating person in your family, that there's someone that's irritating you at work, there's someone that's irritating you in traffic, and you'll find it's the same person. This is the thing that you want to take a look at. Do you want to leave clean, right? Which means you want to deal with this situation before you move on. Or, do you want to try it in a different scenario? There's no wrong answer. It's just which one is simpler for you. Okay. I want to also remind you that that it's not always, there's this one saying that cracks me up and is a little annoying to me, and I'll tell you why in just a second. The saying is, when you're pointing your finger outward, there are three fingers pointing back. The reason being that, the thing that's annoying you in that one person are you're going to see it also in yourself. That is true in most situations, but like the English language, there are always exceptions to the rule. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I learned from handwriting analysis, and yes, that is also part of my arsenal, that if you have heavy pressure handwriting, you have a hard time with wimpy people and whiny people. And so it doesn't mean that I'm heavy pressure handwriting, by the way. So that doesn't mean I'm wimpy or whiny. I may think that I am, but I'm really not. It's just I don't have the tolerance for that. So when I come across someone who's wimpy or whiny, in my opinion, I'm not looking at the wimpiness and whininess in me. What I'm looking at is, where is my capacity for compassion? Where am I unable to connect? That is what is pointing back at me. It's not always a one-to-one. So let's go back to where I was. Oh my gosh. Okay, so to sum up, for the first thing that you want to take a look at before you want to think about moving on is it the one thing that's making you leave that is other parts of your area that that could be worked on now, so that when you do move, you leave clean, just like I said in the kitchen analogy. So how you end is how you start. So you want to end as cleanly as possible so that you can have a nice clean start in your next step. Now, there's no such thing as an absolute clean start, because we are human beings, and human beings have emotions, and emotions are messy, meaning there's no timeline on it. It's a feeling line. So when you leave, the timeline is much shorter for you to recover from your feelings. So that's number one. So what you want to do when we talk about how you finish is how you start is, are you leaving clean? Like I just asked, are there any hard feelings? Are you wanting to screw somebody over? Are you feeling like you're going to have regrets? Like, ooh, maybe something is just not finished. Or do you have a little bit of ego as you move? Like, I'm going to show them. These are not bad reasons to leave. They are not just the most clean reasons to leave. So be honest with yourself, right? Are you leaving because you're not getting enough money? That's not a bad reason to leave. However, there may be something in its way that you're like in a holding pattern, so that you get some emotional clarity around your worthiness. Now, I know that sounds weird, but let's just look at it this way. Let's just pretend I'm making $20 an hour and I feel like I'm being slighted. And so now I'm going to go look for a job that's $21 an hour and gives me 2 extra days off. I forgot what they're called right now. So, personal time, PT time. So, if I sit for just a while longer, I can have a better sense of who I am and know that I'm worth way more than $21 an hour. And then I can go cleanly and look for my next step. It's the same thing as a house, as well as a relationship. Is there a reason why you're leaving? You want to leave as clean as possible, because how you leave is how you start. There's this one story, this one young woman who talked about her being a loser magnet. And I was so sad because she was so beautiful and so young and had like these amazing stories and a wonderful sense of humor. She was my girl's babysitter, by the way, and they are now 31. So it's an old story. And the thing about her is that she would leave a relationship and not feel better, meaning that she didn't need to have projects. She didn't need to have to work on some guy when she's obviously working on herself. So really, it's about working on yourself, letting your partner to work on themselves, and that you end up with this lovely thing in the middle, this connection, and you allow this connection to be called relationship, and you allow the connection to grow, and then it ends up being like a third person, so that you're tending a relationship. You're not tending your partner, and your partner is not tending you. When that happens, what I'm saying to myself is, I'm not whole without my partner, and that I believe is probably the biggest challenge in any relationship, which is what is mine and what is theirs. So by getting really clean and finish clean, meaning, hey, you know what? We have just grown apart. I have these interests and you have these interests, and our connection is no longer strong. Instead of you did this, you're an asshole, I deserve better. It's really about, did you tend the relationship? And is there now a change in the agreement within the relationship? Right? So, and that is another episode. And speaking of episodes, you're listening to Mind Power Meets Mystic with Cinthia Varkevisser and Michelle Walters. Michelle is taking the day off, and I am hoarding this time with you to talk about the 3 things to be on the lookout for to help you decide whether or not to move on or to clean up. I actually like that, clean up or move on. So that's the second thing. Are you leaving clean? Very important. Third thing is, are you taking a leap? I love my clients. I see all the things that they have to offer. And I'm so excited every time I see the light flash and that there's so much within them that they're ready to share. And then the second part is, you see it, but then there needs to be action to back it up. So the third thing is, are you taking a leap? When we're talking about work and someone says it's a lateral move, it's really important for me to take a look and see, in a lateral move, where's the growth, right? Energetically, where's the growth? Because if there's no growth, then there really isn't a lateral move. It's actually a step back. Here, if you're moving and you want to make a lateral move, at least you're working within your frustration. Frustration causes people to, one, build up the nerve to move, also to build up clarity. If clarity is what you're looking for, it can get out of your emotions, which is going back to the second thing. And it also helps with a certain type of safety, because you know your situation right now. So if you can hang tight in your situation again and see if you're making a leap, then that is the signal that it is time to go. It is, taking a leap is always a very good thing. The thing that I love about taking a leap is there's exploration there. There's an audacity there, an audaciousness. I am a firm believer that everybody needs to be audacious. I am choosing my words carefully. The reason I say needs is audacity is like a dare. And so daring yourself to do one thing is a very important thing. There are people who come in my office and they say, I dare myself to do one thing every day. I think it's fantastic. And then I look back and go, okay, so you're daring yourself in one part of your life. What part of your life are you not daring yourself? So the thing that's lovely about daring yourself is that it gives you the confidence to move and do other daring things. However, if I'm going to keep daring myself to, well, this is great. If I'm going to keep daring myself to get a 6-pack, which, that just is not happening today. But I'm not taking a look at my relationships and seeing if they're healthy. Is my audacity, is it really audacious to look at my health, or is it more audacious to look at my relationships? Now, remember I told you you're 100% of who you are 100% of the time. I want you to know that there is an untangling. So if I untangle one part of my life, there's an untangling in all parts of my life, right? If I get clear on one part of my life, I get clear on all parts of my life. However, there's a slow road and there's a faster road. And my wish for you is always, and it's not a wish, when we work together, that is my aim. My aim is to have you pick the more daring road. And the more daring road, believe it or not, is not always the tougher road. It's just the more daring road because we haven't walked that space yet, but we can, right? The other thing about taking a leap is, do you know what your calling is? Do you know what your purpose is? Do you know what your standards are? Do you know what your ethical value is? The reason I'm asking you all these things is when people start making leaps, they are so emotional about making this leap or making this change that they're not checking in and going, hey, for me, my job is to serve people and amplify their boldness, right? Their audacity. I hate that there's a company called Audacity because it's such a fucking good word. So I'm going to keep using audaciousness, I guess. But anyway, back to audacity. Are you making a leap towards your calling, your purpose? Is it in alignment with your values? Are you a little bit nervous because you're not sure you can hold up to this new piece? If these are your questions, I say take the leap. You're ready to go. Because to do that, that means that your move forward is more important than looking back. And it's usually in the looking back that makes us move forward. I know that sounds really weird, but think about this. When we have resentments at our work, I like using work because it's emotional, but not as deeply as emotional as personal relationships. But if you find that you're resentful, you're really still looking into your past. If you have a little bit ego, then you're looking into your past. You're looking at all the past things, right? When you're thinking, oh my God, this is the thing I've always wanted to do, then what happens is I don't look at the things in my past. It doesn't matter anymore. The thing that's pulling me forward is the more important thing. And that is the green light, my friends. Those are the questions that you want to answer. And if any one of those are yes, take that leap. It's time to move on. So I hope you got some value out of this podcast episode of Should I Stay or Should I Go? You have been listening to Mind Power Meets Mystic with Cinthia Varkevisser and Michelle Walters. If you want to know a little bit more about this work, look me up online at www.cynthiavarkevisser.com and we can have a quick chat. I also have this really cool thing called Strip Down What's Stuck, where we hang out for 20 to 25 minutes and we go through a mini coaching session. And of course, I always have some really fun, fantastical, and kind of smart-ass-ish ways of working your intuition and getting to know your inner secret sauce much more lovingly. So that, or take a look and hang out with me you can also find me. You can also do this thing called Strip Down What's Stuck, which is a 20 to 25 minute mini coaching session so that I can help you get down to the essence of the thing that's really bugging the shit out of you and turn it into a quick little prescription to help you move on. That is my version of helping you figure out, should I stay or should I go? And of course, I always have events on the calendar. So take a look. Thank you so much for listening, and we will connect again really soon.